Hi there, I'm Tim Gray and welcome to Tim Gray TV. I have to admit I'm a creature of habit and I tend to get caught up doing the same thing over and over, and that includes when I'm printing my photographic images. I have a tendency to stick with the same paper over and over again, sort of for every print, or maybe with a few exceptions, but I tend to print on the same paper once I find a paper that I like. But it can be so helpful to explore different options, and for that purpose, a sampler pack can be incredibly helpful. I've got a sampler pack here from Red River Paper. It includes essentially a couple of sheets of every one of their photographic papers for printing photographic images. You can see that I've got lots of available options here in terms of paper. I've already printed a bunch of samples, and that gives me a few benefits. For one thing, it gives me exposure to papers that I might have otherwise just ignored altogether. For example, I'm looking here at a print that was produced on the Polar Pearl metallic paper from Red River Paper. Metallic. I would normally never choose a metallic paper. It's going to have a little bit of a silvery appearance to it, and I just don't think that that makes sense for my photographic images. At least I didn't think it made sense until I printed this photo on the metallic paper, and it looks great. The white areas, or the relatively white areas of the photo, now have this sort of silvery shine to them. It really just looks wonderful. It works great for this image. I'm sure it will work for other images as well. And I would have probably never even tried this paper if not for that sampler pack. It also, using a sampler pack, gives me the opportunity to test out different papers so that I can get a feel for what sorts of surfaces. Do I want textured versus non-textured or smooth matte papers? Do I want a glossy paper versus a semi-gloss paper? Is metallic paper something I might consider? And so I can print the same image. Here I've got the same image, for example, printed on an Ultra Pro gloss paper, and it's very glossy. Normally I don't like high gloss papers. I prefer more of a semi-gloss type of surface. But again, here the colors really pop, the contrast looks great, the image really jumps out from the paper on a glossy paper. And so I can explore all of these various options and get a feel for what sort of papers I like. And I don't feel like I'm wasting paper in the process. I get that sampler pack, I test out those papers on images that I think will work well. Along the way, I find which papers I like the most. I figure out which sorts of papers work best with which sorts of images, and overall I'm just getting more educated about what papers are actually available, which papers I like the best, and which papers work for the types of photos that I tend to capture. And so I encourage you to try out a sampler pack from your favorite paper manufacturer. I think you'll be glad you did. You'll have a great opportunity to produce some sample prints, and you'll get a better sense of which papers are right for your photographic images.